Morning. So yes, I have had a coffee this morning. Have you had a coffee? Have you had?
I'm I'm
Are you having a
I'm
coffee?
I'm having coffee right now. I'm
John,
drinking the coffee right now. A
thank you.
Peruvian blend, which is really
Uh,
quite delicious.
the
You look
7th of April already.
April. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We are on the 159th day of self-isolation, right? Just the way you want life to be.
Yeah. Things have
Nobody
not changed
around, right?
around here for
Yeah,
me. This
yeah,
is a
yeah.
normal day for me. Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
lives there? I really don't know. But
Where
his son,
he's in a meeting. He's in a meeting.
he has a son named Boo, apparently.
Yeah.
He looks a
Yeah.
lot like Robert Duvall.
My spouse just
So
stuck
I,
her head in the door 2 seconds ago, and I was exercising. I've got my little bands, and I'm doing my yoga. She says, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. This is this. You're not here most of the time. This is what goes on here all the time.
no, don't look in the bathroom yet. I'll clean all that up.
We were out doing yard work yesterday. We took down the snow shelter. Boy, I should have
Oh,
recorded that.
what do they call them?
Tempo. Of
Tempo.
course,
You
tempo
took
is
it
it's a
down.
tempo is a registered trademark. But anyway, took it down. I should have videotaped this thing and played it back at full speed. But it's
Yeah,
two people sort
yeah.
of discussing and arguing and then jumping around and discussing and arguing. I'm used to doing it on my own, right? So I'm going, so dear, what if you try? No, 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 no. I got this figured out here.
Yeah, it's amazing how couples for life really aren't good tandems for doing
Not everything.
practical things. It
No.
just doesn't. So it turned out to be a bad silent movie. Is that it?
But no, we got the job done, I must say.
Were
And
there tears?
there were none, but she was surprised at how long it takes to. Of course, this thing is made out of galvanized steel sections with wing nuts, and of course, after 5 or 6 years, the wing nuts end up on the wrong bolts and everything. And there's a lot of cursing and WD-40 and howling.
How long did it take you?
People walking by and pointing. Like,
Yeah, the cops came sort
yeah,
of
yeah,
cruised by what,
right.
five, 6 times?
Yeah. Êtes-vous le même couple, vous, là? Yeah. Yeah. No social distancing going on here.
Thank you, Officer Lariviere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
So
I can
anyway,
share some stuff if you'd
please go
like.
ahead. I got some stuff for you too. But please, it's your turn. So off you go. And you're
Okay,
sharing. Yeah. Don't stop
I am
sharing. You
sharing.
you stopped it again.
Okay, I
Click it
didn't go down
once.
to my.
Just click it
There we
once.
are.
Not sharing
It's not sharing.
because you double click it. Click it just the one time. The button the square button there.
Am I
There you
sharing?
are. You are sharing
Okay.
now.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Okay, so you were watching Brockmire, were you?
No, I didn't watch Brockmire yesterday. Sad news. The great, one of my first great crushes, Honor Blackman, died yesterday at the age of 94. She
94.
was 90. Yeah, she
And
died at the age of 94.
I can hear
And
Shirley Bassey in the background there.
there she is. I thought Honor Blackman was the sexiest woman in the world, bar none. Look at that the perfect face. She's just so wow. And she was also the very first. Uh,
Oh
uh,
my, that's lift and separate
that certainly
engineering.
is. That yeah,
Yow!
that everything's out there.
Put an eye out
And
there. Yeah.
she she was also the first of the God. I can't think yet. She was the first on the Avengers before Diana Rigg came
Oh,
along.
was she now? I did not know
She
that.
was indeed. Yeah,
Hmm.
but this is my absolute favorite picture of her. Look at those eyes. Holy mackerel.
Beautiful.
Uh, some of my other crushes were the great Nancy Wilson, who
Oh
was
yes.
just so cool and she just met New York in the 60s and sang beautifully. And I was a big fan of hers. She was among my first crushes. And well, Helen Mirren, she just gets more and more beautiful every year. And I thought I'd even throw in a cheesecake picture of her. Let's You know, you're not going to look that good at 69.
I don't think so. No, my
No,
birthday's this month, and
certainly.
it's all going south.
I mean, we'll try and put you into the bikini, but I
Okay,
know how much you like to dress up.
that's good. Yeah, I do.
But Mary Wilson, the Supremes, I was a big fan of the Supremes, but I didn't understand why Diana Ross was the big hit. I thought Mary Wilson was just adorable, gorgeous. Look at those eyes. And so these are the girls I've had crushes on, and one of them I actually married.
There she is.
And there she is, Elizabeth Jane Hurst with Mr. Video there.
Mr. Video, yeah.
Getting,
yeah. And that's strange. I have something to show you in a minute, but that's very interesting. Thank you so much for that.
You're
and
very, very welcome.
Our regards to Elizabeth too. So one click there out. There you go. And there you are.
I'm back with you, am I?
You are. You need not do anything else. And I'm just going to. And speaking of you looking like a young man, I'm going to post your spring cleaning piece this morning.
Oh, God.
That is a classic. That is
I didn't know you still had those.
Oh yeah, no. And for the one scene only is when you hit the floor when you take a smell of it's either a laundry basket or something else, and then you go down like a deck of cards.
Oh yes,
that's the funniest thing.
My son's laundry basket.
Yeah. So that's going to go on, and I will link to that this morning. What I wanted to show you this morning is the device we have here. Have you seen these on Amazon?
Yes. Have you got one?
We have. I'll explain to you what's going on. I bought a pair of these several months ago so that my spouse could keep in touch with my daughter-in-law. They speak every day. Little did we know that it would come in handy for the context we're in right now. But this is what they call the Echo Show 8. And this is one of those talking devices that Amazon sells. They also sell a 10-inch screen model. This is the 8-inch. This is the one I purchased. And it sells for about $110 on sale. And I have one right here, and I will see if I can ask it a question. Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Let me try that again. No, listen.
You've been coaching Alexa.
I have not.
Coaching Alexa.
I will explain a few things. Let me try that again. Alexa, who was Dave Bronstetter?
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is yet.
Okay.
But I learn about new people every day.
You see, she's adding something now. Let me try it again.
Try
Alexa,
FDR.
Who was Dave Bronstetter?
Here's something I found on the web. According to LatTimes.com, Bronstetter began the cake long before the Supreme Court decided to hear Masterpiece Cake Shop v. Colorado Civil Rights Commission.
Okay. Somebody named Bronstetter was involved in that case where the bake shop owner would not sell cakes to gay clients. So it heard Bronstetter, but it went and looked something up on Wikipedia somewhere. I will explain in a moment. Let me try it again. Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
Here's something I found on the web. According to LotteryPost.com, Senator Pete Bronstetter is co-chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee.
Well, that is true.
That is true. Let me try it once again. Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
Here's something I found on the web. According to LotteryPost.com, Senator Pete Bronstetter is co-chair.
See, it's kind of stuck in a loop now. But what it did earlier is it quoted a piece that it found about you leaving the morning show and being replaced by, what's his name?
Mike?
Yeah, Mike Finnerty. Yeah. So
oh my God, you're kidding me.
No, it's on there somewhere. The problem is, and I will explain, is that this is not Google. This is Amazon, and Amazon licenses, quote unquote, as far as I know, information from different sources. Wikipedia, I believe, being one of them, but it also feeds on other things. So if you're going to buy an Amazon device, do not expect it to be Google because it's not Google. It does, however, do many different things. Alexa, what's the weather for Montreal?
Right now in Montreal, Quebec, it's 5 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, with a high of 5 degrees and a low of minus 17 degrees.
A low of minus 17. So that's not quite correct. So you'll hear a lot of things like that, but it can do a number of things. It can tie into Sonos. It can make calls from one Amazon device to another. It can Skype. It can do many different things. So it can be
It can
fun.
Skype.
Oh, yes, it can Skype. Yes. Now,
Have you
Google,
asked Alexa about you, or
I have not. I have not. No, I just wanted to embarrass you. Um, Now, Google has a device. This is the 10-inch device they sell. They don't sell an 8-inch. This is $300. So it's about 3 times the price of the Amazon 8-inch device. Now, Amazon, as I mentioned, has what they call skills. You can put your Sonos functionality in there too. For example, Alexa, play BBC World Service on Kitchen.
BBC World Service News from TuneIn. Playing on Kitchen.
And then it will play on the Sonos speakers. You can change the volume. You can also set timers for cooking. You can set a timer or 2 or 3. And if you're in a conversation with somebody, it will interrupt you to tell you that your timer is up if you're baking something. So if you're into this kind of device, this toy, I would suggest that you go for the Amazon device because it's much less expensive. But if you want to go whole hog, you can go for the Google device because you have full Google access there. So you can Google practically anything. And
you have one for the house?
I have one. We have one in the kitchen, and my daughter-in-law Kelly has the other one at the other end. So she and her mother and anybody else actually can. And you simply have to say, Alexa, call so and so, or Alexa, it can make phone calls as well, voice calls as well as video calls, either via the Amazon video link or Skype. So it.
Okay. So I could have FaceTime with my granddaughter.
Yes, absolutely. So it might be so. Again, you can do this with a laptop and a telephone anyway.
Yeah.
But if you were ever curious about this kind of device, you can purchase it from Amazon right now for about $110.
What about programming it? How difficult? I'm thinking of the Sonos. That's great. I hate to have to run up here to the computer to change the Sonos in the kitchen. I know I can do it with an iPhone, but I don't have an iPhone.
Yep.
Is it pretty easy to rationalize all the things and coordinate all the things once you get it out of the box?
So-called skills that are applicable, for example, Sonos works, and there are other skills. I have it tied into my home automation system where I can turn the lights on and off, for example, at the front of the house and the back of the house, where I have these devices in the wall where the wall switches go. That takes a little bit of tinkering. But once you've got the Sonos set up, you can raise the volume, lower the volume, change the channel simply by asking the device to do that instead of running around. So if that's of use to you, it might be useful to you. Otherwise, I mean, it is a gadget. It does things that you can do with a phone or with a laptop and other things, but it's handy to have it right there, and it's hands-free. If you're cooking, you can say, Alexa, do this, do that, and the other thing. So
show me a recipe.
There you go.
Does it recognize more than one voice?
It does, yes. And you can set the voice en français, en anglais. You can change the voice too. I think there is a male voice in there too. I haven't tried it yet. But Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
David Orobosa Omorigi, known professionally as Dave, is a British rapper, singer, and songwriter.
Okay. So it gets confused.
The release of a number of successful singles, including Thiago Silva with AJ Tracy. In the same year,
Alexa, stop.
Shut up.
Alexa.
Can you get rude with Alexa?
Oh yeah, I do all the time. My spouse screams with laughter. Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
well, let me tell you about the years I spent in Sing Sing.
So it's an interesting little device, and but it loops. It sort of loops around, and you're never quite sure where the information is coming from.
How long have you had it?
I bought it last winter, and it's proven to be a lot of fun because I can sit there, we can have breakfast, I can change the channel on the radio. I usually listen to BBC, for example, first thing in the morning, and then we can pop back and forth. And the Sonos application.
Radio and Sonos,
Yep.
so you can
Everything, the
change
whole thing.
channels.
No, everything on
I
Sonos.
see.
Yeah.
And
So.
use it as a phone in effect too? Did you say
Oh
that?
yes, I can make voice calls. I can make Skype calls on it. Now, some of the so-called skills don't dovetail very well with the device because there were people out there programming these things, and not all of them all that well programmed. For example, there's a recipe app that is not really up to par. It doesn't really work very well. So, but for basic weather and time and this and that, and radio and information, and you can get CBC. Alexa, play CBC News.
From CBC.
Okay. And you get the recorded news.
They're 5-minute newscasts.
Yeah. But because they have Alexa, stop, because they've licensed this from the CBC. They've also licensed other feeds, so it can do quite a few things if you're interested. So that's my little review for this one.
And you got the you got the Amazon one, not the Google one.
Correct. This is the 8-inch Amazon one.
Okay. Hold it closer to the where you're. Yeah, but no, further in because you blocked off. Oh, there it is. Oh, and it's a tiny little thing.
It's about 8 inches wide, and it sits quite snugly, and it has a rubber foot on it. And
you move it around the house?
No, it stays on our counter. It has microphones all the way around too. So if you have one of these, or if you're going to be using one of these, make sure it's not too close to a wall because you'll get some feedback effects. But if it's out in the open on your counter, it works quite well for.
Okay. And the male voice is what? Murray?
I haven't even tried that. There are different. Alexa, tell me a joke.
How do you measure a burrito? In enchiladas.
How do you measure a burrito? How do you measure a burrito? In enchiladas.
Okay, well, she's no Henny Youngman.
No.
But,
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Where was the crow laid to rest? In the sarcophagus.
Oh boy. Where was the crow laid to rest? In the sarcophagus. Oh boy. Anyway, it's.
I don't want to hear any more. No more jokes.
We don't do the jokes
please.
anymore. No. Although it
have
will
you got
be
something to stop this coughing?
That's right. Although it will be minus 17 in Montreal tonight. So. God.
Could I talk to Alexa from here?
No, because she needs to hear your voice, and we're not on audio.
Oh, okay.
We're on earphones, so I can ask her whatever you like.
No. I just thought I'd. Alexa, what's the capital of New York?
Alexa, what's the capital of New York?
New York State's capital city is Albany.
Damn, she's right.
It's pretty. She's pretty bright, isn't she?
Yeah. And you're not lonely anymore.
No, I'm not. No.
Alexa, that's for later.
That's right. Yeah. Alexa, what are you wearing? They don't make clothes for me, she says.
Oh, that's the.
I'm sure I'm not the only guy who's
Alrighty.
asked Alexa what she's wearing.
I think I know your next 5 questions for Alexa.
That's right. Yeah.
And it ain't the capital of New York.
Anyway, just to recap, the 8-inch, if you just want to tinker and don't want to spend a fortune, is $110. But if you want to go whole hog, read the reviews, and they suggest that the Google device, if you want to drop $300, is probably the better one because it's a bit more rounded in terms of the research and the like. So you're back to sharing now.
Yep. I just wanted to now. Let's see what the weather is. Oh, Alexa was right. It's going to be minus 17.
No.
I'm
just joking.
I'm goofing around, and there we are,
Okay.
and there we are back with just the two of us, right?
Yes.
Good.
So
There we are.
that'll probably
That was an
wrap it up for
interesting
today.
combination.
Yeah.
Now you've had it for that long, but you didn't bring it up. You usually can barely wait to get the stuff out of the box before
I was standing there this morning and I said, wait a minute, we haven't talked about this yet. Alexa, do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
Oh, that's a long way.
Not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. Now she's waiting longer and longer now, and she's thinking,
Ask her who you are.
Jesus. Alexa, Have you ever heard of Yvan Huneau?
In probability theory, an event is a set of outcomes of an experiment to which a probability is assigned. A single outcome may be an element of many different events, and different events in an experiment are usually not equally likely, since they may include very different groups of outcomes.
Okay, so where the hell does that come from?
Well, I think
wait a minute.
Alexa is saying you're way out there.
No, you see what I'm seeing it on the screen now because she transcribes. Have you ever heard of event you know?
Ah.
So that's how
Okay,
it's.
so nobody knows how to pronounce.
Nobody knows how to pronounce my name, and this is linked to, I guess, English pronunciation. So event
Right.
you know is what she heard. In probability theory, an event that you know. So it's about probability theory. It's interesting, isn't it? How it
Oh,
translates that.
fascinating. Yeah. All of a sudden you're in a black hole.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's great. Is it worth 200? I mean, you're a gadget person, but
110 bucks.
I've got Betsy's got an iPad, so she can change the channel on the Sonos. I wouldn't mind having the ability
for that purpose only. No, there's no point in if you're not going to use it or have fun with it. But I thought at first as a communication device because my spouse and my daughter-in-law speak literally every day. They're always talking about stuff and exchange, especially these days. Now they're talking about recipes and other things. It comes in handy because they can chat while they're cooking and while they're doing various things. They can see each other.
Oh, they don't have to be on the phone, right?
No.
Right.
So that it came in handy for that. We found it handy for the weather and other bits and pieces. I don't use it very much as a search device or anything like that, but I use it to change radio stations. I don't know that you'd spend the money just for that. For us, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun with it, and you can tie in music services if you're a Spotify subscriber or if you're a what's the name of the service based in Montreal? Now I forget. They changed. It used to be Galaxy. Now it's.
Yes, which is getting more and more stations. I think there are about 155 stations now.
Yeah, and
I can't think of it.
You can tie that in through your cable subscription. It goes on and on and on. So it's quite versatile if you don't mind tinkering with it a little bit. But I don't know that I'd run out and spend the money if you're just going to sort of forget about it. But if you want to play with it, it could be fun.
And the sound quality's good.
Quite good, yeah. And it'll play. You don't need the Sonos speakers. It has its own speakers. So.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
For example, the CBC newscast is coming out of this device now. If you ask it to
not the radio.
No, and you can do the sports scores, and it will display anything pretty well. Your choice of information.
Put it right in front of your face there. Put it right in front of you. There we can see.
It only has the time now, and it changes images just for display purposes. But you can set it to display sports scores. You can, once things crank back up, you can have the latest NHL scores, and they come up automatically on your screen when you get up in the morning, and you can see them right there. So.
Well, it is probably the future of the of the Bronstetter home because turning lights on and off and starting up the boiling of the water for the spaghetti is going to be
it's coming.
Yeah. All righty. Well,
there you are. Okay, Alexa.
Good stuff.
Do you know who Dave Bronstetter is?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Okay, so we've hit a dead end.
Alexa needs a little bit of work on a research department.
Yes, she does. And that brings me back to the original point. If you want a Google device, get a Google device.
The Google device.
Okay. There you go. All right.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Take care.